Well, thank you for joining with me. We are in A Course in Miracles. This is the combined volume, 3rd edition by Foundation for Inner Peace. And today we are reading Section 3 From Darkness to Light, Chapter 11, God or the Ego. Dear Father, please allow me to set aside everything I think I know. Have an open mind for a new experience in this reading and all things today. May I be who you would have me be, do what you would have me do, go where you would have me go, and say what you would have me say, and to whom. And so it is. Amen. Okay, from darkness to light. When you are weary, remember you have hurt yourself. Your comforter will rest you, but you cannot. You do not know how, for if you did, you could never have grown weary. Unless you hurt yourself, you could never suffer in any way, for that is not God's will for His Son. Pain is not of Him, for He knows no attack, and His peace surrounds you silently. God is very quiet, for there is no conflict in Him. Conflict is the root of all evil, for being blind, it does not see whom it attacks. Yet it always attacks the Son of God, and the Son of God is you. God's Son is indeed in need of comfort, for He knows not what He does, believing His will is not His own. The kingdom is His, and yet He wanders homeless. At home in God He is lonely, and amid all His brothers He is friendless. Would God let this be real when He did not will to be alone Himself? If your will is His, it cannot be true of you, because it is not true of Him. Oh, my child, if you knew what God wills for you, your joy would be complete. And what He wills has happened, for it was always true. When the light comes and you have said, God's will is mine, you will see such beauty that you will know it is not of you. Out of your joy you will create beauty in His name, for your joy could no more be contained than His. The bleak little world will vanish into nothingness, and your heart will be so filled with joy that it will leap into heaven and into the presence of God. I cannot tell you what this will be like, for your heart is not ready. Yet I can tell you and remind you often that what God wills for Himself, He wills for you, and what He wills for you is yours. The way is not hard, but it is very different. Yours is the way of pain, of which God knows nothing. That way is hard indeed, and very lonely. Fear and grief are your guests, and they go with you and abide with you on the way. But the dark journey is not the way of God's Son. Walk in light and do not see the dark companions, for they are not fit companions for the Son of God, who was created of light and in light. The great light always surrounds you and shines out from you. How can you see the dark companions in light such as this? If you see them, it is only because you are denying the light. But deny them instead, for the light is here and the way is clear. God hides nothing from His Son, even though His Son would hide Himself. Yet the Son of God cannot hide His glory, for God wills Him to be glorious, and gave Him the light that shines in Him. You will never lose your way, for God leads you. When you wander, you but undertake a journey that is not real. The dark companions, the dark way, are all illusions. Turn toward the light, for the little spark in you that is part of a light so great that it can sweep you out of all darkness forever. I'm going to repeat that. Turn toward the light, for the little spark in you is part of a light so great that it can sweep you out of all darkness forever. For your Father is your Creator, and you are like Him. The children of light cannot abide in darkness, for darkness is not in them. Do not be deceived by the dark comforters, and never let them enter the mind of God's Son, for they have no place in his temple. When you are tempted to deny him, remember that there are no other gods to place before him, and accept his will for you in peace, for you cannot accept it otherwise. Only God's comforter can comfort you. In the quiet of his temple, he waits to give you the peace that is yours. Give his peace that you may enter the temple and find it waiting for you. But be holy in the presence of God, or you will not know that you are there. For what is unlike God cannot enter his mind, because it was not his thought and therefore does not belong to him. And your mind must be as pure as his if you would know what belongs to you. Guard carefully his temple, for he himself dwells there and abides in peace. You cannot enter God's presence with the dark companions beside you, but you also cannot enter alone. All your brothers must enter with you, for until you have accepted them, you cannot enter. For you cannot understand wholeness unless you are whole, and no part of the Son can be excluded if he would know the wholeness of his Father. In your mind, you can accept the whole sonship and bless it with the light your Father gave it. Then you will be worthy to dwell in the temple with him, because it is your will not to be alone. God blessed his Son forever. If you will bless him in time, you will be in eternity. Time cannot separate you from God if you use it on behalf of the eternal. And that is the end of section 3 in chapter 11. Now let's go ahead and move into a silent meditation. Go ahead and start with a 2x breath. Sit with your back supported, head and neck free. In through the nose for a count of 2 if you're able to, and then out through your mouth for a count of 4. Let's try this 3 times and then move into a 3x breath. In for 3 and out for 6, and then a 4x breath. And I will go ahead and read the lesson for today. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me.
And now we'll inhale for 4, the biggest inhale we've taken all week. Floating there at the top for just a moment, and as we exhale for 8, allowing our lungs to collapse, allowing that breath to just fall out of the lungs. Your next inhale, imagining this breath and energy coming in through the base of the spine, and as you fill your lungs, this breath and energy travels up your spine, and as you exhale, you send this breath and energy out into your life, into your dreams, into the life you want to create. Really good. Now you can soften the breath, just letting it be easy and natural. And we'll gently bring our awareness to our sense of hearing. So listening for all the sounds you can detect. And when sounds happen during your meditation, just letting them pass through you like water. Imagining it as a vibratory wave, which it is, and allow it to just permeate your body. Really good. And now bringing your awareness to your sense of touch. Noticing your bum in the chair, the breath as it enters and exits your nostrils, your clothes against your skin. And now seeing what you're seeing. The blackness, the light streaming through your eyelids. Perhaps you see colors in your mind's eye. There's no right or wrong way. You're just bringing your awareness to your sense of sight. And now taste what you're tasting. Can you taste your toothpaste or your mouthwash? Is your mouth acidic or dry? Is it simply the absence of taste? And now taking an inhale and really smell what you're smelling. What can you smell right now in this room, in this moment? And now having a bit of fun, stacking these senses on top of each other. So hear what we're hearing. Feel what we're feeling. See what we're seeing. Taste what we're tasting and smell what we're smelling. Noticing how many of your senses you can hold in your awareness at the same time, like we're pulling the lens back on our awareness. And one final time, waking up your sense of hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell. Grounding yourself firmly in your body in the right now. And from this space of present moment awareness, we can gently surrender into the meditation. Starting with just the faint intention to meditate. Just the intention to think the mantra will start to be enough. Remembering that the less effort you use with it, the more powerful it is. Letting it float gently in the background of your mind. We're not focusing, we're not concentrating, we're not controlling the tempo. We're trusting that just like the thoughts are floating in innocently, the thought that we're off the mantra will also happen innocently. And that's our cue to gently float back to it. Giving yourself full permission to take it as it comes. Allowing this to be simple and innocent. And don't mind the time. So let's keep the eyes closed, but we'll let go of the mantra inside. Like we're cutting the cord to an anchor, gently bringing our awareness into the body, into the right now. And we'll use this space between, this relaxed, least excited state of awareness, to start to imagine our dreams as if they are our current reality. So we'll move into the manifesting, and I invite you to think of one dream, one desire, one goal that really lights you up. Something that feels exciting to you. And you don't have to worry too much about picking the exact right goal, because our desires are changing all the time, and you can do a different desire each time you meditate. But just what feels most charming, what feels most inspiring right now in this moment in time. So picking one dream, one desire, one goal, and then allowing your imagination to have some fun, allowing your imagination to run wild, and really picturing yourself inside of this reality as if it's happening right now. And you can use your 5 senses as part of this. What does it look like, this reality? What does it sound like? More importantly, what does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? But really get that feeling of this dream in your bones, in your cells. Where are you? What are you wearing? Who's with you? How much money do you have in your bank account? How did you get to this place? What mode of transportation brought you here? Who did you call the moment that this dream became a reality? And what did it feel like to share the news with them? Just really allowing all of that joy, all of that excitement to bubble up inside of you. Knowing that you're allowing your cells to vibrate on the same frequency as these desires. And knowing that you accomplishing your dreams isn't selfish. You're not going to leave anyone behind. As you step into your full potential, you inspire others to do the same. So the beautiful thing about your imagination is that it isn't limited by time or money or other people. So I want you to imagine this as your magic wand scenario. It's the big, fat, scary dream. Imagine that as if it's your current reality. Giving yourself permission to really luxuriate in this reality. And taking a big, delicious inhale. Breathing this in as if it is true. And exhaling, letting go of anything that isn't serving this dream. And again, taking a big, delicious inhale, breathing in this reality as if it's happening now. And exhaling. And just for fun, let your dream bring a big old smile to your face, the biggest, toothiest Julia Roberts grin you've ever had in your whole life. Breathe that smile into your whole body. Smile with your liver, and then exhale, letting go of anything that isn't serving you. Really good. And in your own time, whenever you're ready, we can start to slowly, gently open the eyes.
God's will is perfect happiness for me, and I can suffer but from the belief there is another will apart from His. I share my Father's will for me, His Son. What He has given me is all I want. What He has given me is all there is. The theme of happiness returns, and we remember that the statement that God's will for us is perfect happiness corrects the ego's teaching that God's will is that we suffer as atonement for our sins. Forgiveness reflects our acceptance of His love as all we want and all we are. There is nothing else. God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Chapter 11, God or the Ego, Section 3, From Darkness to Light. Let us remember that forgiveness reflects our acceptance of His love as all we want and all we are. There is nothing else. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day.